Yo, yo, yo. What up, guys? Uh, just wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff I've been thinking about for the league and some things that I think need to be discussed and talked about. So, the first thing for me right now is the quarterback scoring is freaking insane. I think we need to take a look at that. The point disparity is way too hard to overcome when you have your quarterback and have a bad day and you're up against the quarterback that had a great day. You're talking about, I mean, I was looking at one of the games here, uh, Dickey's game. So you got Aaron Rodgers that went for 34 points, and then you got Matt Ryan that went for 60. Uh, it's like, it's pretty much a 30-point disparity. It's 25 points. But those 25 points, that means the rest of your team has to make up that deficit, and that's way too much, in my opinion. Um, Not very. It's just not very fair right now. In so, I'm thinking it's the roughing the passer thing, where like the reason that quarterbacks are just getting a ton of freaking points. It's they're getting more opportunities to keep their drives going, to keep scoring points, and they get more opportunities for touchdowns. So that's what I think it is. I don't know, but you're talking about. I have a quarterback. I have Andrew Luck on my bench for 71 points. Jeremy has Jared Goff on his bench for 76 points. He has Andy Dalton, his starter, 50 points. I mean, it's crazy, man. Tom Brady on Dino's bench, and just and then you have like this bad luck. Obviously, Ryan Fitzpatrick got pulled from the game at halftime. Wasn't having a good day. I don't know that his score was gonna get better. I mean, maybe he goes up to like 20 points if he plays the second half. Maybe he pops off. We don't know. But a bad day for a quarterback in our league looks like 20 points. And a good day for a quarterback in our league looks like 70, 60 plus points. So it's a huge point disparity. And if you lose the quarterback battle, you're pretty much losing the game at that point. So I really feel like it's something we need to talk about because it's getting crazy. It didn't used to be like this, or I don't remember it being like this. And I've always had great quarterbacks. I've always had Aaron Rodgers. I've always had Andrew Luck on his good year. I've always had a good quarterback, except that one year I did terrible. So like it's crazy. I can tell you when Rodgers scores 45 points for me, I'm happy as fuck. 2 years ago, a year ago, happy as fuck. And right now, 45 points is not giving us shit for security. And it's crazy because 45 points used to be like the, oh shit, I had a good week. Like my QB did all right. 30 point was, oh, okay. Like he did all right. My team can carry me the rest of the way. 45 was, fuck yeah, I popped off. I did great. I'm probably going to get the win. Right now we're scoring 50 plus points and nobody feels safe anywhere, and it's just that huge point disparity that's causing that, in my opinion. So I think that's something we need to talk about, we need to look into. um, Something else we need to talk about, week 17. Week 17, most important game is being played week 17 right now, and we had already tried week 17 season 1. We didn't like it. We didn't like having to sit starters. We didn't like sitting stars. And more often than not, good players play on good teams that they don't need that week 17 win, and they sit. Todd Gurley is probably not going to play week 17. So Guillermo's team on Kid Day, who's he going to plug in, man? Like, his team is not looking like it has any depth right now. So I just think it's important. Uh, it's really important for just us to look into changing that, because we had already changed it before, you know. And I think it was really creative trying to get everybody more involved after playoffs start. And kudos to you, Dino. But I think we need to talk about it. We need to kind of reassess where we're at with that. And the final thing is vetoing. And I know that I've pushed a lot of buttons on this thing, but I really want to hear every person's opinion on this. And I really want Matt. I mean, you kind of seemed in the chat like you were leaning toward not vetoing this trade after you heard Nestor talk about the trade, after you heard me talk about the trade, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do here is to go away from value based vetoing where we're trying to veto a trade to prevent teams from getting better and move toward a more, oh, are we cheating or are we colluding kind of vetoing where we veto based on cheats or cheating, because we're right now playing I think kind of lazy. Like people are not actively looking for trades and looking to make their team better. They're just looking to prevent other teams from getting better. So I think we can play it that way, the way we've been playing, where, oh no, I don't want that team to get better, so I'm going to veto. Or we can play the not lazy way and we can do research. We can talk to people, we can negotiate, we can we can have an actual conversation about players and about trading, and we can spend a week talking about a trade, and then we can accept that trade, and we can have the confidence that it's not going to get vetoed. Both owners are going to feel like they're getting a great deal. Both teams are going to feel like they're getting better, and nobody's going to be being lazy about making their team better, because right now we're just being lazy and we're hitting that veto button. And in my opinion, it's a lazy way to play fantasy. So maybe we can look into it. Maybe we can change it. I haven't found anything online that says that value based vetoing is better than collusion based vetoing. And the reason is that vetoing was put there for a reason. And I really feel like I was explaining to Tamara this whole thing, and she agrees with you guys. So what she was saying is, if you guys have been playing this game this way for so long, why change it? Like, leave it the way it is. Nobody wants to change it. Everybody wants to leave it the way it is, and I get that. I get that argument. I understand wholly, but I want to change it because I feel like it can be better. And the reason for that is that I just did a little bit of research, not even a ton. Looked at a couple of YouTube videos, when to veto. Literally looked that up. When to veto a trade in fantasy. Looked at a couple articles. First ones that pop up on Google. There's a couple of Reddit pages. Everybody seems to agree that collusion or cheating based vetoing is the only way you can truly veto, because value based vetoing brings in the opinions of the whole league and no trade is ever going to go through, and that's the problem that we've been having, right? So I was explaining it to Tamara and I told her, like, I think if you compare this to Monopoly, we've been playing Monopoly our own way without having read a certain rule, and I just happened to come across that rule sometime recently, and now I want to play by that rule because I think it's going to make the game more fun. But nobody wants to change it because they're just used to doing it the way they've been doing it. And so I think that's a really good way to look at it. And so with that, I just want to have a conversation with everyone and just kind of understand what everybody's take is, because I've talked to a couple of people. I understand Guillermo is going to be a really hard person to convince. He's very like, he wants his opinion to matter on every trade, and I get that. That's the way we've been playing, but then you have people like Gabe who says, "Man, I see where you're coming from. Man, you make really great points, but I don't want to give up any sort of power that I have in this league to change things." And I get that point of view too, where he's saying he doesn't want to give up power, uh, like the small bit of power that he has, because it's power, you know, it's power for him to keep things the same or to prevent things from happening. And so what I told him, and I remember I told him, was, yes, you're losing that little bit of power to stop things from happening, but you're gaining a whole ton of power. Everybody is. When you're talking about your trades are no longer going to get vetoed. Things that you negotiate for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Me and Dino have negotiated trades for 3 weeks. You know, like year two, year three, we would negotiate for weeks, and then we would finally come to an agreement. We would agree, and it would be vetoed in 5 minutes. That sucks. That sucks. That's really, in my opinion, I knew there had to be a better way, and I found it. I went online, and it's collusion or cheat based vetoing, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you guys like and what you guys don't like, and let's talk about these things because maybe we can have all these things fixed, or let me rephrase that because some of you guys don't think that these things need fixing, right? So maybe we can have some of these things more clear for next year, and maybe we can have a clear conversation about why or why not we're doing things. So I hope with that you guys can maybe do your own research, look into each of these topics that I brought up today, and for me, I highly encourage any sort of an improvement to the league that any of you guys can think of. Any of you guys have a problem with anything, like I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear why or why not something is right or wrong, and I would love to have that conversation with you guys. And I hope that you guys are down for having this conversation with me. So hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Sorry to all the people that are getting their butts kicked. I think me and Juan are putting on a show right now, so enjoy.